All right, so this is the 10th biggest deal, is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is most impactful. I think DeAndre Ayton going to the Lakers. Is it going to be good impactful or is it going to be bad impactful? It's going to have an effect, okay? Because DeAndre Ayton is going to be the starting center for the Los Angeles Lakers next year. And according to Joe Cronin, who's the GM or vice president of basketball operations, not sure which, the guy in charge of the players making the team, said, we think DeAndre Ayton, we think he wants to go to a winning organization. We talked to his agents, we talked to his guys, and he just wants to go somewhere where he can win. We're in the middle of a little bit of a rebuilding phase, so perhaps we'll cut him loose. We'll let him move on. I don't think that's what happened. And I even saw this. I think it was Laker Nation on the Sports Illustrated page. They were saying, yeah, that sounds good, but by all accounts, that is not true. And DeAndre Ayton kind of isn't fun to be around. Even when I was listening to the Hoop Collective guys talk, they released on 4th of July. Good for them. Dude, they worked on a holiday. They probably recorded it the day before. But they were talking about DeAndre Ayton and how he's sort of always... They even brought up the snowed in thing. And I know I bring up this all the time. And people are always... Every time I bring it up on the show, everyone always chimes in and they back him up. They back up their boy DeAndre Ayton. They say, the ice was crazy. It was crazy, and they couldn't get to his neighborhood. It was nuts. I live in Portland, and it was wild. You don't understand, bro. I know, and you're right. I do not understand what it was like, but it still sits in my head. And you know why? It still sits in my head as like, dude, you couldn't just... It still sits there because I've never heard of that before. Listen, I ain't saying it wasn't icy. I wasn't there. I've seen some icy situations. I've seen some treacherous roads. I just ain't never heard of a guy missing a game because he couldn't leave his house. So, Portland gave him $25 million to hit the bricks. They said, all right, we owe you $36 million. Will you take $25 million to never see us again? Unless, of course, we're playing the Lakers. He said, yeah, I'll do it. So he actually did take a little bit of a pay cut because he is getting $16 million for 2 years by the Lakers. So he'll get $34 million next year instead of getting 36 had he stayed with the Blazers. So he is taking a little bit of a pay cut, which I do understand. And it's funny because this isn't their first choice. This isn't the Lakers' first choice. This is sort of what they got dealt because it's a situation where you have a starting center and you only have to pay him $8 million. It's kind of nice. He kind of fell into their lap. So, but this could be a curse. He could just be awful. He could be screaming at Luka. Luka could be screaming at him. They could just hate each other. We don't know. We have no idea. But on paper right now, we're like, oh, wow. Lakers just basically got a free center. Pretty cool. Also, mind you, remember, the Suns did call the loss of him addition by subtraction. Ooh. Dang. Yeah, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. And also one thing I want to bring up is people talk about, oh, this is his chance to redeem his career. He's getting a fresh start in a new place. Bruh, said that about Portland. Said the same words. I could see this happening again because he's only 26. He's only 26 years old. So I could see, let's say he finishes out this contract with the Lakers and it's sort of same old stuff, like plays a bit, sits, hurts himself, doesn't really get along with anyone. The DeAndre Ayton drill. At the end of this 2 years, we're saying the same thing. He signs a contract with, I don't know, Memphis. He's 28 and we're saying, this is his chance. He's had some rough times with different teams. This is his chance to really prove himself that he can be that finals run with the Suns, DeAndre Ayton. We're just going to say it over and over again because we're like, he's so big. He's just big. You got to be good. You look at him, you're like, you can't be bad. You're so big. You're so large. You can't suck. You can't disappoint us. Your body. Live up to the shape. Live up to your shape, bro. You gotta. we have a hard time accepting that he might not be good. Jrue Holiday for Anthony Simons. I thought this was interesting because, I mean, look, Anthony Simons was scoring 19 points. Like, you can make the argument, like, he's Portland's best player. But Portland's saying, yeah, but he doesn't really rock with what we're trying to do. We're trying to get our boys, Shaedon Sharpe, Toumani Camara, Donovan Clingan. We're kind of going that direction. And Anthony, he's ready to ball right now. He's ready to rock and roll. So let's get him out of here. He's on a kind of expensive contract, but not really, because you're bringing in Jrue Holiday. So really what you're saying is, look, we got Simons' expiring contract. And we really want Jrue Holiday, because this is a big move to say, hey, you know what? We'll give you 2 second-rounders. We'll give you 2 orders of cinnamon twists to take Simons' deal. And the Celtics are going to say, hey, he's actually a decent player. What are we looking at? 36% from 3? Not great. But 19 points a game? Sure. We get him for a year. You basically get a free trial of Anthony Simons for your Boston team. And you get 2 set orders of cinnamon twists with it. Of course, the Celtics say yes. And if you're the Blazers, what you're saying is, I love Jrue Holiday. I love me some Jrue Holiday. And I love me some Jrue Holiday so much, I could eat 3 years of Jrue Holiday with a player option. So provided Jrue really benefits the team in more ways than just his game, I think everyone wins. And the Celtics get off of $12 million. Because I think they're trying to get below the tax line. They're trying to duck under so they don't get that repeater tax. I get it. Good move. Love it. Porzingis, Man Niang. Okay, so same thing. You're trading basically from the Celtics perspective. You're losing Kristaps Porzingis for Niang. You're getting Niang back. What, are you getting anything else? Second rounder? I think, yeah, they're getting a second rounder from it. Okay. Really what you're saying is like, yeah, we'll take back George Niang. You're saying, we don't care about next year. Just take Porzingis. We're just trying to get $22 million off our books. Screw it. Like, they probably said, just send us someone back. You can have Porzingis. Just send us someone back to make it work. They said, how about George Niang? Like, sure, it's fine. And we don't care. We just can't afford this team. So, Kristaps, he's gone. And really what you're sort of saying is, hey, we'll take Niang back because we just really don't want Kristaps anymore. We don't want to be in the luxury tax. We don't want to pay him. We also just sort of feel like that one good year we had of Kristaps, that was enough. We're fine. We'll call it a wash. And then as for the Nets get Terrence Mann and then Drake Powell, who was the number 22 pick overall this year. What y'all know about Drake Powell? I don't know anything either, man. But they got Terrence Mann, another guy. The Nets are the junkyard. They're the junkyard squad, man. They're taking back, who you got? Can we get anything? We'll give you the 22nd pick overall if you take on this Terrence Mann contract. Done. We'll take it. We're the junkyard, man. We'll do it. Drake, the 22 pick overall, Drake Powell. Never heard of him. We'll take him. Maybe he's good. But he's definitely cheap. And then from the Hawks' perspective, you get Kristaps and a second-round pick. You're saying, you're really just hoping that Kristaps recovered from his head cold. Because I believe they have 2 more years of Kristaps left at center. Because the Capella's gone. I like it for everyone, right? I mean, he only played 42 games this year. So really what we're going to be looking at with this trade is we're going to be looking at Porzingis' performance. We're not really concerned about the Nets or Boston side because they had their own motives. The Nets wanted to get a little pick, take on a bad contract, and the Boston Celtics wanted to get off some money, which they did. So we're really looking at the Hawks. How's this going to go for the Hawks? And it all depends if Porzingis catches bird flu again. Shruder to the Kings. Bet y'all didn't think this was very important, but I actually really like this deal. And the reason I really like it is because Dennis Shruder is one of my favorite players. I think he's one of the best dribblers in the league. People don't like me saying that, but he also started in the playoff, or he closed, I should say. He closed late in playoff games. Dude, he is a professional. I like this King signing. I heard some Kings fans griping about the Dennis Shruder signing. Because more than likely, the way I sort of understand this deal, the way it's going to go down, is it is a sign and trade that could possibly be a non-simultaneous trade. If you watch my other channel, you know what that means. It means there's a big-ass trade exception that could possibly happen. So, the Pistons could get a $14.3 million trade exception, potentially, if they just do a sign and trade straight up. Because the Kings, I'm not sure what the Kings would get back. The Kings would get something back for this deal, or the Pistons would get something back for this deal. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go down, but more than likely, I think what people are saying is instead of getting the trade exception, they're going to get Malik Monk back in the deal because they can take back $22 million in salary in the sign and trade. And the Kings might say, you know what? You can take Malik. You can take Malik. How about that? We want Shruder. You guys can have Malik. You can absorb him into that $22 million instead of taking the trade exception. I think that's what's going to happen. So I heard a lot of people griping saying, we want Malik. Malik's our guy. Can't believe we're giving up Malik for Dennis Shruder, because that's probably what's going to go down. I like it, man. Shruder's nasty. He comes to play. He's an excellent player. Also, I'm so excited that I think Shruder is going to beat Ish Smith for where most teams played on in the NBA. Also, I think Shruder is going to be a starter next year. Right? I think so. I think he's going to start for the Kings. I think they're going to put DeRozan at the shooting guard. They're not going to have him play point guard. And he's going to be good. Let's go. I might go up to SAC to watch a game again. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker going to the Hawks. So here's the thing. I thought this was going to be an upgrade from DeAndre Hunter. I was like, oh, they're trying to upgrade the 3-and-D wing. But then I'm like, well, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he is smaller. He's a good defender, but he is a lot smaller than DeAndre Hunter. But then I thought, well, maybe he's a better offensive player. Because I remember they'd sort of been disappointed with DeAndre Hunter. I looked at DeAndre Hunter's stats. Dude, he's really good. So, and they basically make the same amount. And then I thought, well, people were talking Nickeil Alexander-Walker was really good in the playoffs. And then I looked at their playoff stats and I'm like, dude, maybe there's some intrinsic value to Nickeil that I'm not seeing, but this is definitely a downgrade from DeAndre Hunter. But maybe they think they made such good upgrades other than this that it's not really going to matter. Maybe DeAndre just didn't fit their style, but he shot pretty well from three. I don't know. But I think he's going to be the backup point guard. I don't know. Is he going to start for the Hawks? Maybe he is. Maybe he is going to start for the Hawks. I'm not sure. But I could see him also just being the backup point guard for Trey. But it's a pretty expensive backup point guard. 4 years, $62 million. And he's getting a player option and a trade kicker. If you don't know, a player option meaning, you know what a player option is. If you watch this show on a regular basis, if you're this deep into the show, you know what the player option is. Last year, he gets to pick and choose if he wants to play or if he wants to sign a new deal with another team. And if he does get traded, there's a trade kicker. I'm not sure what the percentage is, but what a trade kicker is basically means if you get traded, you get a bonus. And the team that is trading for you has to pay you that bonus. Occasionally, you'll see players waive their trade kicker. If they really want to go to the team, like Anthony Davis waived his trade kicker when he went to the Lakers because he was traded to the Lakers, but he wanted to go to the Lakers, so he's obviously not going to say, yeah, y'all owe me money. He's not going to say, yeah, you guys owe me money now. And the Lakers say, well, I thought you wanted to come here. We gave up a bunch of stuff so you could come here. Now you're going to make us pay your trade kicker? He didn't do that. So Poole from McCollum. I know a lot of people, I know I really criticized this deal. I said, what are you doing? You're just trading bananas for oranges, peaches for pears. You're just trading stuff for stuff just to think you're in the game. But I don't think that's true. Because I've been watching some Jordan Poole highlights and we forget dude is a champion and dude, he was the best player on the Wizards. He is good. And I actually like the deal from our man Joe Dumars. I actually do like it. Because he's saying, you know what? CJ McCollum is tired out there. Listen, CJ McCollum is way slower than Jordan Poole. He's not as good of a dribbler. So they're saying, you know what? Jordan Poole's on like a $34 million deal. CJ McCollum's on a deal about the same amount. We'll take an extra year of Jordan Poole. We'll take it. We'll take a risk on that because we actually think he's going to be better than that contract because we actually think he's a pretty good point guard. And to have a good point guard getting us 20 points a game for $34 million is a good move. So I respect it. He's a good passer. Turns the ball over a little bit too much for my liking, but hey, got to do something. Got to move. Got to shake. And CJ has been exiled to the Washington Wizards. It really is the island of Patmos. Do you guys read the Bible? It's really the Isle of Patmos. But it's like the Isle of Patmos, but you haven't been banished to a deserted island. It's the island of Patmos if there are other prisoners. It's like Australia. It's like the origins of Australia, where it's a prisoner colony. So I would like, but there is no way. There's part of me that says, well, I'd like this prisoner colony to be good at basketball. I'd like them to all come together and say, yeah, I know we've all been shipped out to this island of Patmos, but what do you say we give them? What do you say we show these teams that traded us away what they're missing? There's no way, right? I don't think there's any possible way that that's going to happen, unfortunately. But this is going to be good. And they get Saddiq Bey. What do I always say about Saddiq Bey? He practiced so hard. This is the lore around Saddiq Bey. He practiced so hard that the Detroit Pistons said, hey, bro, you need a hobby. How crazy is that? In a world where players are super lazy and don't want to work and are really entitled, Saddiq Bey worked so hard that his own team said, hey, man, get out of the gym. Take a pottery class, bruh. All right, now this is going to be tricky. So I really like this deal when I heard about it. I like Jonas Valanciunas. I like his personality. I think he's a fun guy. I like a lot of the Eastern European guys. I like Dario Saric. I like his mustache. I like that he doesn't change his look. He's pretty much had this mustache. Well, when he was drafted, you know who looked weird? You know who glowed up? Let's keep it real. Dario Saric. Look at his look at his rookie photos, and this is whatever. I'm just gonna say it. Look at Dario Saric's rookie photos when he was coming into the league. Okay, look at what he looks like. Dario Saric glowed up. Oh man, it really shows you that there is the ugly duckling philosophy is real. Sometimes puberty extends really long, and you have these very long periods of time where you just are a strange looking human being. But you eventually do get out of it. Saric was this way. Also, take a look at Enes Kanter. Take a look at Enes Kanter when he was coming in the league. Take a look at him on draft night. You are like, what the? It is a different human being. Okay, and then now there are like thirst trap videos of Enes Kanter. Girls love Enes Kanter. There's videos of him like signing autographs and girls like fawning over him. But bro, look at you're like, whoa, what a glow up. Another player, kind of this way, dude, Nikola Topic. That is a guy that I'm like, oh, he's got Dario Saric vibes. He's got Enes Kanter vibes. I think you look at him now and you're like, geez. But I think he's going to turn into a very handsome man. I think Jonas Valanciunas, I don't even know. I think he just sort of came in, he came in the league cute. Here's the thing, though. So Jonas, there's 2 years on that contract, and then I believe Dario's is expiring. I think. And then they got a first-round pick. So the King, this is the weird thing. He doesn't want to play. Valanciunas does not want to play. And that's going to be a problem because when you trade for a guy, you're kind of hoping that he's invested in the goal. So it could be that the Kings are saying, you know what, we'll take a first-round pick for Valanciunas, because he doesn't really want to play. He wants to go play in Greece. He's doing interviews in Greece right now. He's under an NBA contract. He can't play in Greece, literally, but he's doing interviews. So the Kings might say, there's something tells me he doesn't want to be here in the NBA. Oh, the Nuggets are offering a first-round pick for him? Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. It's basically a free first-round pick for a dispassionate Jonas Valanciunas. But evidently the Nuggets, so the deal should go down tomorrow, but the Nuggets don't care. They say, we got Jokic is going to sway him. His Soviet bloc brother is going to sway him and rekindle his passion for NBA basketball. I think he can do it. I don't know what their relationship is like. I assume it's good, but I think Jokic can do it. I think Jokic can get him to get with the program. I'm hoping to, because I'm a Nuggets fan, or I'm not like a fan of anything, but I like the Nuggets, and I want that team to be good. I'm a Jokic fan, so I really like what the Nuggets have done, and this was one of the deals that I really, really liked for the Nuggets. So I hope Jonas Valanciunas, gets with the program and is good for our team. And Saric, Saric can be a supermodel if he wants to. He's got options. Okay, the Dame Stretch and Turner signing. I talked about this on the podcast. Check out the podcast if you're interested in that. But I really got into the details on this. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to give y'all them milk from my titties. You got to buy the cow, boy. So there were 2 years left on Dame's contract. He was going to be injured for one of them. So they said, you know what? Let's waive him. Let's give him all that money. Let's give him $122 million and don't make him work any more for it. I hate it. It drives me nuts. Dame should do the right thing and donate all that money to me. It's only right. So they're stretching out his contract, going to pay him $22 million a year just so they can free up some cap space, and they sign Myles Turner for a 4-year deal, $107 million. Okay, cool. All right, now you can sign Myles Turner. But really all you've done with your team is you've lost Damian Lillard and you've gained Myles Turner. And you can make the argument that, well, Dame wasn't even that good. He was kind of washed. Okay, and you're like, Myles Turner, he's a better option than Brook Lopez. Now, Brook's out in the Clippers, and they're paying him $9 million, so we have a better center. Okay, cool. Do you want to win championships? Does Giannis want to win championships? Like, yeah, we do. Then what else are you doing? What else are you doing? So, to me, I don't think Giannis really wants to win championships. I think he wants to be in Milwaukee and he wants to be relevant. I think on a conscious level, you talk to him and he's like, yeah, I'd like to win more championships. That's really what I'm interested in doing. But on a subconscious level, he says, I need it to be like a possibility for me to win a championship. And I don't want to move. I don't want to move all my furniture to another city. I don't want my kids to leave their school and their friends. In reality, I'd like to just stay where I am. That has to be it. Because if this is the big gesture to say, you know what, we're going to cut Dame and sign Myles Turner and then sort of remain exactly the same, that's like, that'll do it. Does that please you, baby? And he says, that'll do, babe. I'm sticking around. I think both parties are delusional. Actually, I would imagine that the Bucks would say to each other, dude, I can't believe we convinced Giannis this is a winning team. He's buying it. He must have really struggled with Myles Turner during the playoffs, man. I mean, Myles Turner? And then stretching Dame? We're fucked. Hey, Milwaukee runs on Giannis. Their main export is Giannis Antetokounmpo jerseys. Do what you gotta do. I loved this trade. And it was so funny to hear Rockets fans. Listen, Rockets fans were doing that little... They were gloating. They were like, I actually don't like how much we gave up for Kevin Durant. Shut your bitch ass up. Shut up. Because once the trade goes down, you can be like... Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green, both of them. I didn't even want Kevin Durant. I guess we'll take him. Because once the deal's done, then you can be as like righteous as you want, right? You already got him. So as a non-objective objective observer, this is a great deal for the Rockets. But actually, I don't like that the Rockets are probably extending him for $60 million a year for 2 years. I'd let it ride. If I'm a GM, I'd be the most hated GM in the league, because Kevin Durant would come to me and say, all right, or his agent would come to me and say, so yeah, we want a 2-year extension. We got you got us for a year, but let's extend it 2 years. I would say, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We'll wait until next year, and then I'll wait until you're a free agent. I would say, tell you what, we'll do a 1-1. We'll do a 1-1. We can turn this deal into a 1-1. I can give you another year. I'll do a 1-year deal extension. How about that? And of course, they'd be like, no, we're not doing that. We're going to wait until he's a free agent next year. I'd say, okay, cool. Sounds good. I wouldn't even extend him. I wouldn't worry about it. But then Kevin Durant would probably all season be like, I'm kind of mad. And I'm not as good because I'm a little bit mad. I don't like being here because that dick GM won't give me my extension. So everyone in the league would say, I don't want to work for that guy because he doesn't commit. I mean, like, fair enough, but I'm not paying you if I don't have to. So they're going to extend him $120 million. I do wonder how the other guys feel about that, because I feel like they're a pretty solid core group of guys, and now you got this hired gun old man coming in, and he's getting all the money. I don't know, just sort of. I just think it might affect the vibe personally, but I still love it for the Rockets. I just want to extend him. That's how I go about this. They get the Suns get 3 years of Jalen Green, and then Dillon Brooks and Khaman Maluach. I mean, that was the best deal. I've sort of talked about this enough, but whatever. Khaman Maluach, I was watching some highlights before I started filming the video. I have thoughts on him. He's sort of a little more. I think he's a little more. I kind of have the same feelings I did about Zach Edey about him, because you watch a lot of highlights and you're like, well, I'll tell you what. Against guys 1 foot shorter than him, he looks amazing. That's all I'm saying. So Michael Porter Jr. for Cameron Johnson. So the Nuggets get Cameron Johnson. What did they get? So they both had 2 years left on the contract. Okay, they both have 2 years left. The thing is, Nuggets get Cameron Johnson, a guy who's probably going to be more dependable, even though, now that I'm looking at it, hold on one sec. We got a change to make. I got to boost this up a little bit so you can see. I got you, baby. I know you couldn't see it. Here's the thing. I was thinking, all right, Michael Porter Jr., less durable than Cameron Johnson. But now I'm looking at it and I'm like, I can't really say that, because Michael Porter Jr. did play more games last year than Cameron Johnson. So they're sort of equivalent, but really what the Nuggets wanted is they want a smarter player. They want a little bit smarter of a guy, a little more creation, because Cameron Johnson is smaller than Michael Porter Jr., but the real issue here is the Nuggets said, we want off this Michael Porter Jr. contract. It's just too big. $38 million and $40 million. Give us Cam Johnson for $21 million and $23 million. That'll at least, we can get him off of our books. And then the Brooklyn Nets say, well, give us your first-round pick. That one first-round pick that you have available to trade, give us that. And the Nuggets said, all right, you can take it. Which I love it. It's basically the Nuggets, because Jokic is going to be really old in 2032. I don't know how old he's going to be. Don't make me do math. Please don't make me do math. So I think it's a really great move. I don't even mind it for the Nets. Because maybe, hey, it's the junkyard, baby. It's the junkyard. Maybe there's still a good carburetor in Michael Porter Jr., Maybe there's a couple fan belts that you can scrap out of him at the trade deadline. I don't know. So the Nuggets get off $35 million over the next 2 years, and they just have a more, I don't know, a guy that's more Have you seen that clip going around? I wasn't going to talk about this, but it was Michael Porter Jr. he doesn't get like, he has a podcast, but it's not necessarily a basketball podcast. There was one episode where he was talking about how some of the players are mess around sexually with like lady boys and stuff. And he was talking to some sex expert or something. Maybe it wasn't a sex expert, but it was just some hot chick that he was interviewing on his show. And then there's the clip that's been going around. Basically, he doesn't have basketball. He has like very broad interests that aren't basketball related. So someone took this clip of him asking about the Diddy case and Homeland Security. And then they cut to Cam Johnson talking to JJ Redick on The Old Man and the Three about why it's easier to shoot with your left hand and your right hand. And people are like, they are not the same. And I was like, that is a great point. That is a great point. And I don't really have a rebuttal to it. So I think Cameron Johnson likes basketball a little more than Michael Porter Jr. And I think that's going to help. So I'm excited about it. I'm glad I don't have to watch Michael Porter Jr. play basketball anymore. When he's shooting well, he's shooting well. When he gets hot, he gets hot. I'm not going to take that away. But part of me it drives me nuts that he's so big, but he's a spot-up shooter. He's like a big, tall, muscular guy, but he's just sort of like away from the action. He should rebound more. Okay. Well, thanks for chilling out with me. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you joined the Patreon. There is a Patreon. So, be good to your mothers. Eat a corn dog.